Let's pray. Let's pray that our boys are no longer baptized within their thighs. Let's pray that our unemployed girls no longer see blowjob as vacancy. Let's pray. As I grab this mic to retell the sagas that I have seen from the roads that leads to IDP camps, my mind raced back to how Asake's father grabbed her bosoms and she no longer rests in the bosom of the Lord. Asake was raped, but her clitoris still lives to tell the story. Asake was raped when she was just 12 years old, and since then, pussy is no longer a cat. Asake was raped, but her clitoris still lives to tell the story. For like Messi, she has no choice but to dribble the balls of her father with no mercy. At the sight of Asake's ties, the father-to-daughter ties vanished like dust swept off erosion by the wind. And Baba Asake rode like a Power Ranger, forgetting the fact that some things are graver than the thunderbolts. Asake is no longer a virgin. And as she retells this story, her tears still drip like the comely milk that drip out of Baba Asake's socket. Last night, Baba, I thought the elephant doesn't devour the grasses beneath it. Why have you decided to drown in my pool, find succor in my innocence, and like an FBI agent, I still find your footprint engraved from my door, whose lock has now been hacked by a rusting or only serpentine rod that now defines the exegesis of Sodom and Gomorrah? Those were the questions that went cat and dog on the lips of Asake. And without echoing the last prayer, Baba Asake pounced on her prayer. Asake was raped, but her clitoris still lives to tell the story. I was the sole witness to the matrimony of Asake and the dust. How Asake locked lips with suicide, just as she locked lips with her father a night ago. And yes, this page won't stop recording like the effervescent milk of Baba Asake that won't stop pouring into the effervescent opening of Asake. Rape is rape, regardless of what the media tells us. What a woman wears, what a woman does, what a woman says, where a woman goes is never a justification for rape. But how do you fight rape when your father might just be an example of a rapist that escaped justice? How do you? Today begins on a scary note of girls who were taught that a pride lies between the hidings of their thighs. Of girls who were taught that a wasted virginity is a broken destiny. Today begins on a scary note of boys who were taught that the true test of masculinity is in every hymen of they are broken. Of boys who were taught that the true test of bravery is in every skirt they have defied, with or without consent. Today begins on a scary note of girls who were taught to be virgins, but boys never taught on the limitations of their rods. Today begins on a scary note of boys who were told that to weep is to be weak. So we learn to swallow our grief, though bitter yet unshaken. Just like a forcefully disvirgin girl learning to swallow a suicide pill, though bitter yet unshaken. Today begins on a scary note of boys who were told that their home is a boxing ring. Their women now punching bags to be punched and swung left and right. Today begins on a scary note of girls who were taught to be reflections of their mothers. So they learn to get themselves in silence and succumb to the willpower of a demon called husband. Today begins on a scary note of girls who were told that smartness is ranked by the numbers of magas you have. You constantly search for a sugar daddy. Remember that you are prone to diabetes.